to Project 33 Studio. This is your boy Robbie Vega alongside.
This is Ricardo Guzman. And welcome to Project 33 Studios. Right now, we have a special guest, man.
We have a
this
privilege.
guest, this guest is no stranger to Project 33, but he's definitely always welcome. Jonny Cann here.
Jonny Cann, everyone.
What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up?
Yep.
Such a pleasure to be here. Absolutely love you guys and who you guys are to this community out here in Bridgeport, and the moves you guys make, and like the amount of growth ever since I even saw you guys last year.
It's
absolutely incredible.
We were just talking about that. We were just talking about how Jonny was with us through the trenches. You know what I mean? He was with us when we didn't have such a luxurious studio. So, welcome back, honestly.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
So, right off the rip, let's talk about you have an event coming up. Let's talk about this event. This event should be fire, and all pun intended, because it's called Ignited.
Life Ignited.
Life Ignited. So tell us a little about this event and what to expect.
So this event this Sunday, February 23rd, it's all going to be around scaling success with funding secrets, right? So showing people unique ways where they could position themselves, whether if they have an existing business, a brand new business, if there's an investment or any type of opportunity they want to pursue, how they could position themselves where they don't have to utilize their own money, and they could build relationships with the banks, and they could get from $50K plus to $250K. There's going to be someone that's going to be in the room tomorrow. I got her approved for a $2.1 million loan for her to purchase another business. And she's only a manager at a company. So, but she's going to buy that business, but we helped her get the financing for that. So, but that's what tomorrow's event is going to be around, how people can position themselves for opportunities.
What type of people should be joining this event and who should be going and attending this event? What type of people should be going?
Anyone that is progressive minded, obviously business owner, entrepreneurial minded should be going there, but anyone that wants to search and find more opportunities for themselves, that wants to change their situation, that wants to continue growing in life. So, I mean, just the hands that's going to be shaken, the energy in the room, it's always very valuable to be around other people that are progressing, but just the information shared alone is going to be very valuable.
I know. I'm definitely looking forward to going. I know last year Ignited was the first time that I think I met you. And ever since then, man, I just want to say, man, we're real grateful for for you, man, for your advice. You become a coach, a mentor, and we're just grateful, man.
Honestly,
great. You're the shit, man. You're cool as hell. You have so much. You're like a wealth of knowledge, right? And so we're grateful for Life Ignited that it connected us, man, and we're excited to go to this next one. And I encourage everyone, if you're a small business owner thinking about creating a business, if you are a successful business, this is a place we could just come and network and just get inspired. And listen, when you hang out with winners, if you want to become a winner, you got to hang out with winners. Right? And this is kind of the mindset. So, man, we're looking forward to this
that alone, it rubs off on you, and that's the whole reason why I literally started that room. Like, I don't make money running these events, right? It's selfishly, it was for the purpose, because anything that has helped me grow mentally, financially, spiritually, emotionally was the type of people I surrounded myself with, right? Where there could be a certain idea that I have, like, could I do that? Is that really possible? But if you're hanging out with people that are doing it and you're like, oh, it is possible. Like, they're not any different than me. They're just a human like I am. They make mistakes just like I do, but they found the solutions to make these things possible. Why can't I make it possible, right? So it's like asking the right questions to the right people and being around the right people is definitely, it rubs off, man. So it's a really important thing.
100% agree. I tell you one thing is, because we all grew up in the 90s, right? You could say the 90s, right? TV was everything. And it almost seemed like we all wanted to be on TV, but it kind of felt like too far, And then Donald Trump becomes president. And I was like, yo, I can do anything in this world. It's all possible. When we get in rooms like this, you get in rooms with people like this, that you can find out that they're just like me. They tried from the bottom, and they worked their way to the top and where they were at and how successful they are today. And a room like this is where you want to meet people like this. You want to touch these people, shake their hands, smile with them, hear their stories, and be able to understand that they're just like you. They're just like me, and it's possible. It's not like the TV in the 90s. It's like, it's unreachable. No, this is something that is tangible. If you work hard, if you apply what you learn and Ignited, you definitely can make it to this place where your credit is great. You got a great network of friends, and it's something that's just possible. Possibility. Yeah,
it's possible for anybody.
And also too, like, don't be intimidated by this. Is what I tell people. by credit, like just the word credit in a sense where like, dude, ain't nobody gonna be judging your credit, man. You don't gotta come and tell your credit score, but like come and be inspired in a sense where like, what do you tell people that really just have shitty ass credit and like, but have a vision of creating not only a business but getting funding for their business? Like, what do you say to those people that like have that like, man, right now my credit's not there, but like I have a vision to, you know, to have a business and be successful, you know, when it comes to this business kind of the side to it.
Well, first, credit is just so important on so many angles in life, right? Which I wasn't aware about for a long time in my life. The way I was raised was like, don't use credit cards, don't use it'll mess you up. Like that's what I was taught, right? We didn't get education on financial literacy. So, and no one should be ashamed of like talking about it, of course, with the right people, you know, because we all could use that support. You know, we don't get this type of education from society, from schools. And, you know, life also happens, right? So whatever scenario that someone has ended up in, however their credit is positioned, there's always solutions to turn it around, especially if it's not in a good place. But, you know, it's such an important subject because it impacts so many parts of life, you know, like people, and when you're buying a house, when you're purchasing a car, you know, you could be saving or losing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars if your credit's not positioned appropriately. You know, and with having correct credit, not only can you fund yourself over 50 grand, even if you're starting a brand new business. But I mean, you know, I travel for free, right? You know, you position yourself to travel, you know, for over 20 grand a year for free, first class flights, you know, hotels for free in different places. You know, when your credit's positioned appropriately, you're making money just for spending money you'd already spend anyways, if you're doing it the right way. So, yeah, I tell people, you know, never be ashamed. It's such a huge foundation to your life. So, you know, take a pivotal role that could advance you and, you know, putting that in the right place.
Just don't let the girl you're dating
credit score. Unless you got like 800 credit score, but put it on your Tinder profile.
We talked about that before, man. No.
So listen, but you mentioned like you having great credit, so it saves you money
completely.
So I saw something I think you posted on Instagram, accidentcredit.io, and it was like, look at there's credit scores up, they're saving $2,000 or they're saving X amount now a year on whatever it is. How is it that like my credit score being so good can save me money? You know what I mean? Besides obviously getting a credit loan, like how is it that my credit score is actually saving me money?
Well, there's interest rates attached to everything, right? And then when you're purchasing things, especially if they're running your credit or you're going through the banks, you know, they're going to judge on how they're going to lend to you based on your history, right? Your credit is, how I view it, is just your credibility, right? How credible are you? Like, are you going to do something with someone that is not trustworthy? And that's pretty much your credit report, is this data that shows your track record. So therefore, it's like, all right, you know, based on this data, this person is not as trustworthy to pay back on time or to treat their accounts well. So if I am going to lend to them, first, it'll be extremely hard to get any type of lending. But if I am going to lend to them because they are a high risk person, then we're going to charge way more. You know, instead of giving you a 10% interest rate, you might get a 30% interest rate. Right. You know, if you're getting, you know, 50 grand on a car or whatever, right, it could be a huge difference. You know, am I going to pay 15 grand in interest on this, or am I going to pay 5 grand in interest on this? You know, that could be a huge, you know, pivotal role on how you could position yourself in a much better place.
Now, when it comes to credit, like credit repair, right? I know there's a lot of agencies and these people that help with credit repair, right? But then there's a side to people that be like, nah, you don't need credit. You don't need to go through these people. You can learn all this stuff on Google, on YouTube, and to like, so in a sense, with credit repair, people that help you with your credit, right? Do you recommend people? First of all, first question is, do you recommend to use that, to use credit repair agencies? And second question, how long realistically would it take someone who has a shitty credit score to have a good credit score in order to start kind of like funding, like business funding and get other loans?
First, I would definitely say to vet, if you're going to go through credit repair, there is a lot of noise that's out there. A lot of credit repair companies could be predatory. You know, they'll charge $100 a month and we'll work on your credit. And they'll take 2-3 years to work on your credit because the longer they take, then the more money they make.
Right.
Right. So that's not so much in the best interest for the client. The way our credit repair company works, we just charge one flat fee, right? So the longer I take on a client, then the more money we're losing because we're paying our whole entire team to put in a lot of intentful effort into these steps. Now, they could definitely work on credit yourself. You could pursue credit repair yourself. You could dispute accounts yourself. Just the laws, the reason why it could be so intricate and challenging, the amount of different laws that could be leveraged in the intricacy of it could be pretty extensive. So therefore, and credit repair is not an immediate thing, so, we definitely work in very effective ways within our company on how we pursue credit repair. I always tell someone, give us around 4 to 6 months for us to clean up anything that really needs to be cleaned up. I mean, we've taken off 20 negative accounts off people's reports within less than 30 days, but there's also some people where it takes a little bit longer, which is always tell people the best time to work on your credit is when you don't need to, right? So you can position yourself. You don't know the exact time, and you can never guarantee the timing of, credit repair if you do need it repaired. So I definitely say, if you're going to use a credit repair company, definitely vet the company that you're working with. What type of results have you had, or did they produce for other people? Try to get testimonials from other people that has worked with that company. Look at their Trustpilot, see how credible they are. What type of value are they really adding? With what we do with credit, we're way beyond just a credit repair company, right? Our company is called Excellent Credit because our purpose isn't just to repair people's credit, but help them achieve excellent credit. You could have no negatives on your credit. You could have no collections, no charge-offs, no late pays, right? So you don't need credit repair, but it doesn't mean you have great credit.
Right.
You can still have a very thin profile. You can still have very low tier accounts. Your credit can still be positioned in a way that's unattractive to banks. So more than just repairing your credit, we help people achieve excellent credit. How do you position yourself to get towards an 800 credit score, right?
So for the person who's just starting, right? And so you're right. They're vetting, they're Googling, they're asking ChatGPT, trying to figure out how to repair their credit. What is it that you're offering? Obviously, that flat rate is a phenomenal thing already. Like, I think if anyone's watching this right now, that alone is why you should definitely be going over because it's a little more trustworthy. But also, what else are you offering, and like, how does that even look? Like, what are you doing for these people? Are you writing letters to Santa? By December,
Santa, go talk to TransUnion for me, bro. So in terms of what we're doing, and within our credit repair, we also have a 90-day money-back guarantee, right? If we produce no results within 90 days,
plus $100.
And plus $100. So we give you your full money back plus $100, right? Because we're confident in our strategies and the effort that we produce. Again, the longer we have a client, the more money we're losing. So it's more intentional for us to want to provide a great service and a great effort. Now, yes, we are utilizing letters. We're utilizing different parts of the law on how the law is written. And there's a lot of things on how these companies work and even in how credit reporting agencies hold on to our data that is kind of against certain ways the law is written. So we utilize these things, whether if it's, privacy acts or just many different things that's within the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And there's many different laws to leverage, right? So if there's accounts that we're disputing for clients, yes, we write letters, but even more effectively than just writing and mailing in letters, we have access to certain portals with certain bureaus.
Nice.
So we have much more direct disputing processes. And outside of just cleaning up people's reports, so we could take off anything that's negative on a report, whether if it's a collection charge-off, bankruptcy, repo. These things can be removed from your report, right? And not only do we remove it, but we also reposition, setting you up with higher tier banks to have relationships with, helping you position to have an appropriate credit mix. We teach our clients through different courses that we have and education we provide on how you could scale your credit so you could be attractive if you want to fund a business and prepare yourself for these situations, right? One of my mentors has always told me you would rather be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Right? You don't want to come across an incredible business opportunity. And opportunity comes, goes by very quickly, right? And like, crap, if I had 50 grand, I could really get into this opportunity and do great things, but your credit is not positioned in a way where you have relationships with banks to do this stuff. So we help position people in a way where they're set up in a very attractive way where they could go into any bank and be well set up for anything that they want to pursue.
Great sales pitch, man. Great.
Because now I think for the people that have great credit, right, and who've positioned themselves to just make moves, right? I think that's where kind of like business comes in. People that already have positioned themselves, like now they can start thinking about having a business, doing a business, right? And so when we come to that part of it, right? I mean, to the people that have bad credit. I mean, we got to work on getting it right. At the end of the day, man, I think sometimes, man, we mess up, man. We F up when we're younger sometimes.
Oh,
Man.
we don't care.
We're like 18 years old and we get this $300 express credit card and we just max it out for 2 t-shirts that cost
express.
And then you don't pay that off and that just messes up your whole credit.
That right there,
you know what I'm saying? So
completely.
But I think for the people that are, that worked on their credit, have great credit, now they're positioned to do better things, right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? In terms of business, right? And so that would go into the business
people,
side.
like, same thing with my girl, right? Like, she had great credit before. And then with certain strategies that I learned over the years, we scaled her credit, right? So she went from having like $5,000 credit limits on her personal. Now she has multiple credit cards. It's in like the 20K range on her personal side. And if you understand how business funding works, especially if you're launching a new business, then the type of limits and relationships you have on your personal side could highly benefit what you do on business funding on the business side, right? So now, like, I could get her over $200,000 in 0% interest funding, where she could get 0% interest terms for 12 months, 18 months, right? Where she could leverage within any opportunity she wants to pursue. But just because she could get that money doesn't mean you should go to the bank and get that $200,000, right?
Right.
Because
which I would probably think, let me go get this $200K.
Yeah,
real quick.
Let me go buy a Lambo.
What am I gonna do? I don't know.
You have to pay that money back.
Right.
So, but now we just hunt for opportunities. Knowing that we could go to the bank and grab $100,000 whenever we want. We just hunt for low risk, high reward opportunities, and we say no to majority of opportunities. But we could shop around confidently, and that's why we do. We just keep our eyes peeled. We network. We talk to people, and when there's a right opportunity that comes across, and we pursued a few over the last year that's working out extremely well, and we have some more ideas going ahead. But now we could shop around, and you could just be patient.
How hard is it for you and of course your partner to not allow a lot of outside noise to try to encourage you to do this crazy purchase or to take out this big loan so that you guys can invest in whatever they're selling? You know what I mean? How what do you guys do to keep the outside noise in, to keep that tight within yourselves and keep the vision? What are you guys doing for that, and how do you guys continue to work on it?
Well, one great thing about my fiance, that my mom tried to teach, just what you're saying before, your family could tell you something, but you might not listen. Your girl could tell you something, is to, because I'm just like a very overly optimistic person, and I had to even myself out, in different ways. Let me have also a pessimistic side to myself, so I could be more aware of certain risks that could come along instead of just being so optimistic about it. But more than that, I guess what we do to protect ourselves when we're going forward is a lot of things we do, we don't talk about it too much until we really have the ball rolling.
That's good.
Right? Where there's times where I'm so excited about something where I'm like, I'm just going to tell everyone what I want to do. And that is what I want to do.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's
and
a
it's
great point.
First, you're just like milking away your ideas. Second, there's also thoughts from other people that could be against us. And that could be like a whole spiritual level of things. And, we don't want to damage that within ourselves. So when there's certain things that we're going through, we have specific mentors that we consult with. And these are people that we talk to on specific ideas that we want to go towards. But outside of that, we keep, the main opportunities we want to pursue to ourselves, unless it's people that we want to build business with. And until things are coming into fruition.
There's some science that talks about how endorphins are released when you actually tell people your plans, and they get released, and you get this satisfaction, this gratification of like it got accomplished before it even got accomplished. So therefore you start relaxing even after telling people these plans. So that's really good. Some good science behind to back up what you're basically saying. Yeah,
my friend who I just got that 2.1 million approval. She's going to be at the event on Sunday. But she's like, hey, Johnny, I'm going to have like other friends of mine and family of mine that's going to be there. And, I don't really like to talk about opportunities I'm pursuing until things are fully locked in.
Yeah.
So she's still in the paperwork phase of us like solidifying this deal that she's going through. So she's like, just, if you're going to talk about it, just, don't point me out. I want to wait till the deal's done. I'm like, I like that thought, you know?
Right.
Because I was definitely going to use her as a story. Like, hey, come up here. But she's like, I'm glad you told me, because I was definitely going to promote you.
So one of your specialties besides, talking about credit is business funding, right? So when you talk about this client that you had that you 2.1 million, right? Is that what you were?
She got approved for. Yep.
So we're talking about business funding now, right?
Yep.
So in terms of business funding, man, talk about like, when did that become your passion? When did you see that, man, there's a lot of opportunities when it comes to business fundings, right? Because a lot of people, I think, sometimes you have good credit, you have these personal loans, right? You know, you could go for personal loans, but I think when you talk about business funding, there's a whole, it's just like a whole other world that you could tap into, right? That people may either feel intimidated or don't know, right? That's why when I went to Ignite, I was like, I didn't even know that you could get way more money through these business fundings than you could probably would on your personal kind of credit card and the credit cards. And like I know you're passionate and you're a specialist at it, but when did you get that passion of this business funding, or when did it become like real to you, like you experienced it?
It became real to me when one of my best friends, he went through a large setback in his life a handful of years ago. And he came out of a divorce. He had to fight back to have a relationship with his kids again. He had a real estate brokerage that he lost. He pretty much like lost everything and had to completely reset. And he was sleeping on my couch for a few months, right? So actually, I gave him my bedroom so he could have his own bathroom and stuff. I was like, bro, like, you know, you need to like really rest up and heal up and get yourself here. Take my master bedroom. Like, you're good. You're chilling, man. Don't worry. I'll sleep on the couch. So I just wanted to position him well. I really love this dude. But I saw him go from just working at a pizza shop to bartending to moving out of my place. And within a few months after he left my place, he started 3 new businesses. He started his own credit repair company because he started to master his own credit. He bought, about 8 different lots of land. And he also started a wood shop, which within the next year, his multiple of his businesses were each producing over 30 grand each. Wow. The land that he bought doubled in value over a few year period. Right. So once I saw him like starting these new businesses and like starting to launch new things, I was like, damn, bro, like, how are you doing all this? Like, you were just sleeping on my couch just a few months ago. He's like, oh, I got over 100 grand from the banks for me to start these new businesses. And I was like, how the F did you, you're broke, bro. Like, you're broke. How'd you get 100 grand from the bank? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, my credit. I'm like, what do you mean your credit? Like, yeah, because how my credit's positioned, that's why I was able to go into the banks and, get this money and start these new companies. That's bringing me more opportunity. And I was just like, what the F does that mean? Yeah. Like, your credit. And like I told you guys, I never did anything with credit for majority of my entire life. But that was like the point where I was like, all right, I really got to learn about this stuff because I was an entrepreneur for over a decade at that point. And I was like, it's so hard to grow as a business owner when you don't have resources.
Right. That's a fact.
So, so to see on how much he's progressed and how much hardship I had as an entrepreneur because of having a lack of resources, right? Everything I did my whole life was with my own money. And there's other businesses I started where I wrote pitch decks and I had other investors where I could have gone way further, way faster if I was able to access my own resources. So with that's pretty much like the main point of like, all right, I got to dig into this.
Did he give you like the 5 steps, the 6 steps, the 10 steps?
To. I was still a little hard-headed at that point. At that point, I was really into investing and trading. I was in the process of working with a hedge fund. So I was like, all right, that's cool. You got this money, but like, I'm making money anyways. So like, but it had my mind spinning. And then, whatever, the whole experience with the hedge fund's a whole nother story. But during that process, I have another good friend that I met through the investing world where he was an owner of a business that did business funding. And I just saw all the entrepreneurs that he was supporting. I always just saw him, posting about, I helped this person get 150 grand. I helped this person get 200 grand, helped this person get 80 grand. And I'm just like, what the F are you doing, bro? Like, you have a business where you're helping people like get finances. Like, that's what an incredible business model. Like, how could I be a part of that? I run events for entrepreneurs. I love to add value to entrepreneurs. If there's any way I could be a part of your company or help your business grow, this is somewhere I want to dig in much further myself. And yeah, they just took me under their wing. And that was pretty much the start of my whole journey. Yeah.
Wow. Why don't you tell, I'm curious on like, why don't you tell us like, maybe the best advice you've ever gotten from a mentor before you started, after you started? Like, what's the best advice someone's ever told you?
Man, that's a great question. Great question. I would say off the top of my head, what comes off to the top of my head right away is don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Right? We all go through challenges, right? And we could sit there and complain. Like, there's a point where I lost 70 grand within a few months. Right. And this was also when I was with the hedge fund during that experience. And like, I'm talking to one of my mentors and I'm complaining. I'm like, man, this is hard. What am I going to do? I'm depressed. Like, how am I going to pay this money back to my investor? Like, I don't know, like, how I'm going to handle this situation. He's like, bro, you're complaining too much. He's like, first, your situation's not that bad. And second, like, don't wish your situation was easier. Wish you were better. You wish you had the skill sets, wish you had the knowledge to get yourself out of the situation, right? So instead of complaining about your situation, what are you doing to change it, right? How are you adjusting yourself? Like, what are you reading? What are you learning? Like, what are you putting your mind through? Are you just going to sit there and just like let everything just soak you up?
Yeah.
Or are you going to go do something about it, right? So
it's a lot of like taking responsibility.
Taking responsibility. So, and that always like stuck with me, right? So anything that I want to do or become or achieve or get over, it's not about things being easier. It's about me being better.
Right.
And the better I become, the easier things get. Right. So it's more about your mental work and your inner work. Yeah.
That's
cheers to that, man.
Yeah,
for real.
cheers
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
For sure.
Salud. We got Jonny Cann in the building, man. Always a wealth of knowledge for sure, man. So in terms of okay, let's see. I'm a new business owner. I'm a small business owner, right? I have good credit, I have, maybe not excellent, but good, good to good credit. And I want to start thinking about, this business funding in a sense. Like, so I know we talked about it before where you have to have like 2 years, you have to be eligible. In order to be eligible for business funding, what are kind of like the requirements right off the back?
Completely. So there's multiple ways you could fund a business, right? And let's just talk about a few direct ways. The first way you could say is business credit cards. And this is also where you could access 0% interest funding options. Now, when it comes to getting business credit cards, this is mainly based on how your personal credit is set up as a business owner. That's where a majority of the judgment is going to be with business credit cards. So you could literally have a brand new business that you started today, right? It could not even, it doesn't even need to be a real business. I mean, to start an LLC, it just takes 15 minutes through the state website, right? Start an LLC, open up a business checking account, and you can start applying for business credit cards. So you could get business funding through these options right away. And what's valuable about business funding is that these types of options do not show up on your personal report. Some business products does. I stay away from those. But so therefore, if you access $100,000 in business funding, let's say you get $100,000 in 0% interest funding, then that's not showing up on your personal report. So you could completely max out, completely utilize those cards to the fullest extent, and your personal credit stays intact.
Nice.
Right? Because on your personal credit, if you have a credit card that's over 30% utilization, it's now going to start damaging your credit because it's highly utilized. So you want to keep these things separate. Your business entity separate from your personal entity. Right? So there's business credit cards where someone could right away, just because of how their personal credit is set up, they could access $50,000 up to $250,000, at 0% interest. Then there's things like business term loans, business lines of credit, things like this. These types of business products, because most businesses fail within the first 2 years, anyone that's younger than 2 years old in business is considered higher risk to banks because you just have younger age. Now, once you're over that 2-year mark, now you're going to qualify for you to be able to apply for these business products. And these business products like business term loans, business lines of credit, et cetera, these are more revenue-based products, right? So banks are going to ask for your last 6 months of your business bank statements, and they're going to ask for your last year of tax returns or last 2 years of tax returns. And banks will typically give you around 10% on what you're able to prove that you're doing in revenue. Right. So yes, when it comes to getting a business loan, which is different than business credit, then yes, a requirement is for your business to be at least 2 years old.
Wow.
So your personal credit is super important, especially if you're trying to go that route to getting loans for your business. Is your personal credit should be basically intact. So they basically got to come to you to get their credit right, wait 6 to 8 months, and then come back to you to figure out how to get a business loan.
And that's if someone's credit is not positioned well, where a lot of people, they might have good credit or their credit might not have negatives when they need to fix their credit. I would say 9 out of 10 of my clients, even people that does not have bad credit, could still use some type of adjustments. Right. Hey, if we open up this type of relationship on your personal profile, this could better set you up. If we adjusted your debt in a specific way, this could set you up better. If we adjust how your inquiries are positioned a certain way, this could set you up better. So there's usually ways that we could help optimize people's profiles for, if let's say if I have a client, hey, if we go to banks right now, we could probably get $20,000. But if we wait 1-2 months and we do XYZ, we go to the banks, then we could get $100,000. Nice. Right. So maybe in their best interest to take those couple of steps going forward.
Right.
So there are solutions for you to optimize yourself, right? And now if you need credit repair, then yeah, that might take a little bit longer time. It might take 1 to 6 months to, position your credit if you need repair to do these things. But that's what we're experts at, is not only knowing on how to strategically position your credit report, but also on how to strategically apply with banks, right? When you're applying with banks, banks don't like to lend to people that are asking for money from other banks or, in a short amount of time, right? So if a bank sees that, okay, you're asking like 3 other banks for money too, then now you look like you're desperate.
And they're jealous. They're like, yo,
yeah, you're
what
jealous.
Are you doing?
Yeah,
they're jealous.
What's up over here?
What's up, man? Trying to play me?
There's actually strategies you could almost have banks fight with each other, which only ends up in more money if you do it the right way. But there's specific strategies that we apply where, let's say if I'm helping someone get over 100 grand, their credit might be positioned where, hey, I can only get you 20 grand maybe from a bank or 30 grand from a bank, right? So, if we position the credit a certain way, we also have certain strategies where we're going to 4, 5, 6 different banks and applying at 4, 5, 6 different banks in specific ways where we could extend the lending option. So we're getting 20 grand from this bank, 30 grand from this bank, 40 grand from this bank, right? And that's how we will total helping people get over 100 grand, 150 grand, et cetera.
Wow.
So when we talk about risk, though, in terms of like taking out, like, because it's a debt, right? At the end of the day, it's a debt, right? And so what do you tell these business owners that are just kind of like skeptical about taking these debts for their business? Like, how do you work with that? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that have that in the back of their minds.
Oh, yeah, I don't want debt. You know what I mean? Debt is bad. I shouldn't borrow this and that. It's true. It's like this conception, like this mindset that we are, I don't know if it's...
We're bred it in a sense through society, man. Like,
if it's put in us that we shouldn't be getting into debt because like
that's a bad...
Save your money, get out of debt. It's like something you automatically hear, whether you don't know anything about finances, at least you know these two things. But why would you say debt is like a good thing to get into?
The wealthiest people in the world have the most debt, right?
True.
It's because they're not using their own finances for all these moves that they're making. They're using OPM, other people's money. And when you set yourself up to use other people's money or the bank's money, then you could go much further. Now, there's good debt and there's bad debt, right? For me, like, I want all the debt, right? I mean, technically, I'm like over 100 grand in debt right now, right? But this isn't debt that I just went and bought a Lambo and like, shit, I got to go like have this whole bill, right? I purchased assets with that money and I put that 100 grand into places that's going to be making me more money back. Right. So I tell people, even if you have the chance to access funds, don't access it until you have an opportunity set up for yourself because you're going to have to pay that money back. Right. So you want to position yourself in a way where you're exercising an opportunity. But then, everything is a risk, though, right? Which is why you want to be confident in what you're doing. I mean, with you guys in this whole podcast studio, you guys invested so much into this space, right? But you're positioning yourselves that you're going to put in the effort to attract the right people that you're going to add value to, which is going to in return bring value back to yourself. So now it's good debt. You might go in 20 grand in debt to, set all this up, but you're positioning yourself where you're getting clients where that revenue is going to come right back. So if you borrow 20 grand at 0% interest for 12 months and you put that money in the right place that could help you progress further in opportunities, might position yourself where you're now making 20 grand a month, or maybe it takes you 5 months to make that 20 grand back. Whatever the case, you didn't touch a single penny of your own dollar. You went and exercised a new opportunity. You use that opportunity to generate more money for yourself. You paid back that 20 grand at 0% interest, and now you have a business that's cash flowing. Right. So all these, like, I didn't have 100 grand personally for these opportunities that I started to pursue. But, we went to the banks. Now we're leveraging the bank's money for us to exercise our opportunities.
What kind of opportunities are you looking for? What are you thinking, like opportunities that would give you 10% back in a year? What kind of things have to be set up for you to say this is a great opportunity and I'm willing to invest into this regardless of how the time is? Or do you have a time limit that you set on your investments? What are you looking for when you're thinking about opportunities?
Good question. It depends on what type of lending that I'm leveraging, right? So if I'm leveraging 0% interest funding, this comes with limited timing. They have access to 0% interest. So I'm going to look for opportunities where I can make that return within that time frame. Right. But now, like, I'm also investing into Section 8, where I'm probably only be cash flowing, maybe like $300, $400, $600 a month off a property. Right. So I might put 20 grand on a down payment. So I'm not going to make that back in those 12 months, but there's also things like cash out refis that where you can still get your capital back. So there's different strategies that you could pursue. But the main thing I look for is first, like, a lot of the things I'm investing in is also with other people. So, like, do I trust this person? What is this person's track record with themselves? What have they created before? What is the financials behind this business model? So, but the foundation for whatever I look for is low risk, high reward.
Okay.
Right. So everything is a risk.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
But I want the lowest risk possible and versus the highest reward possible. I'm completely cool with taking a risk, right? But it's not going to be like a stupid risk. It's like probably a bad example, but if I'm like driving drunk and I'm blind and I like whatever, it's a large risk for me to get behind a car, right? But if I have like perfect vision, my mind's clear, like I'll be the driver all day. I'll get on the racetrack. So, is there a chance this car might crash on this racetrack? Cool. But I know that I'm in control and my risk is much lower because I know what my reward is because of, my research or what I'm aware about, what I've learned to pursue this, right? So, but a good way to kind of get your mind ready to start looking for opportunities. Have you guys ever played a game called Cash Flow?
A game called Cash Flow?
No, I haven't.
No.
So there's this guy named Robert Kiyosaki. He's a huge like real estate guru for many years. And he created a game called Cash Flow, right? He also wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Which is could be a popular book within the financial world, where he had a mentor that he considered his rich dad, and his original father he considered his poor dad, where he got all the bad advice from. His poor dad's like, don't use credit, don't use debt, whereas rich dad's like, bro, go get debt, go get debt and invest it. But the game Cash Flow is all about escaping the rat race, right? So. That's just the whole game's about. So you're going around a certain part of the board, and everyone gets a random job, whether if you're a nurse or a janitor or a doctor, you get a random job, right? And based on your job, you get you have a certain amount of income, you have a certain amount of that you have in terms of your bills that you have to pay, and each time you go around the board or you go around the circle, that you're kind of collecting your next paycheck, right? But when you hit certain parts of the board, now if you land on an opportunity piece or an opportunity spot, you can now pick up an opportunity card, and then there's two opportunity piles. One is called, I don't know if it's called small, but one's like for small opportunities and one is for large opportunities, right? So small opportunities are, opportunities are 20 grand or less. So if you land on an opportunity side, I'm a janitor, I have nothing going on, I'm not going to go for the large opportunities because I'm not going to be able to really exercise that. I'm going to pick up the card and be like, oh, well, I can't pursue that anyway because I don't got the money for it. So pretty much the whole game teaches you on how to pursue enough small opportunities where you can now participate in larger opportunities, right? And it's all about looking for low risk, high reward. And if you play the game enough, you're like, okay, last time I played the game, like that was a stupid opportunity that I pursued, not pursuing that one again. And there's so many different opportunities. You could buy gold, you could buy real estate. You could, hey, you pick up a card, hey, your cousin needs $10,000. Like, are you gonna? They told you they'll pay you back in the future at some point. You're like, oh, cool,
with interest,
But that cousin, you might not come around the board, that cousin never pays you back. Now you're, whatever. So there's just so many different variables, but it's all about doing enough small deals so you can participate in big deals.
Wow, that's good. And so Cash Flow is
a name. It's a dope ass game. Me and my fiance, we play it with all of our close friends.
Yeah, we got to get to Cash Flow. So Jonny Cann is if somebody wants to get a hold of you, man, and somebody wants to contact you in terms of not only credit repair but this business funding, man, what's the good kind of your Instagram, your kind of a website or what,
Yeah, you can hit on my Instagram, @ Jonny Cann, JONNY _CANN. Also, our Instagram handle for our company is excellentcredit.io. That's also the website is excellentcredit.io right here.
Yeah, somewhere right there on the screen.
It'll be in the description. But I just want to vouch for you, man. I think you are very just genuine, man. You just want to see people win. You just want to see people win, and that's something that
for sure
that you don't see in everyone. That you're just genuine. You just want to see people win, and I know that you're just like a knowledge of wealth, right? The wealth of knowledge in a sense where you just have so much knowledge to give, right? And you just give and you give and you give. And you want to see people grow, man. So we are very grateful for you, man.
Super grateful.
Besides Project 33 as your friends, man, we just we're grateful for you. We're grateful for you taking this time to be here with us, man. And I know it's not going to be the last time we see Jonny Cann.
Not at all. Not at all.
He is a friend of the show or of the podcast, man.
He's family. He's been with us since tax collectors. When we weren't even collecting taxes, bro.
We're very grateful for you, man.
Super grateful. Again, I can't sing your praises enough. But honestly, If you have never met him personally, I don't know his account. He definitely is very about business, but in person, he's very motivating. The energy he gives off. He's definitely someone you always want around. And I'm definitely cheers to you.
Cheers.
For
Appreciate
sure.
it,
Cheers.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Almost
Johnny.
cheers with my mic. Salud. We got Louis back there
We got
behind
Louis
the
back
scenes.
there.
Hooking it up.
Come on now. We got like 20,000 people over here watching us.
But nah, guys, I highly appreciate those words. You know, it takes one to know one. And me being around and seeing other people win helps me win.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a very lonely road when you're going out there and succeeding. You're going against the grain, right? You know, you're working hard when no one's watching. And when you're at that point, it could be very lonely sometimes to continue exercising yourself. So when I'm around other people that are winning, it makes me feel safe within that environment. So, and I genuinely feel that anyone could do anything they put their mind to. You know, it's just going down that direction. It might take someone 3 months to get to a finish line. It might take someone else 3 years to get to the finish line. It doesn't matter. It's about just going down that direction, going down that road. And that's what keeps me alive. There's times where I've had a whole lot of money, and there's times where I lost everything. And in between both of those times, the thing that always held the truest to my heart was the relationships that I have had. So, and I know that's so powerful. It's priceless. It goes way beyond money.
Yeah.
So whatever I could do, you know, to be the best version of myself that could push out towards others, I know that just comes in response to myself. So I only want to be that for other people. That's my purpose in life, to stay alive. Yeah.
That's great.
Wise words from the wise man.
Just trying to keep up with y'all. And you guys, what you guys are doing and like, you know, the effort that you guys put in, it's very inspiring to me. You know, I absolutely love it. Like the last studio space you guys came from to what you guys are doing here. Like it's literally so inspiring to me, which is why like I'll be texting Louis at 1 a.m. like I'll have some crazy idea. I'm like, because it's like who else am I going to talk to about these types of like flowing ideas? So for me to be surrounded with other people that want to continue progressing, it just like that's also inspiring to me. So I'm also grateful for you guys.
I appreciate it, Johnny.
Thank you. Thank
man.
you for saying that for sure. Listen, he's welcome back anytime. You got his Instagram. Reach out to him. Honestly, your credit is super important. You heard it today. Right now, how important it is. And if you don't need your credit right now, it's the perfect time to start building your credit.
That's right.
So reach out to him. Definitely, he'll get back to you shortly within 24 hours or what?
Within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours. Quick with it. Quick with it. So
there's a booking link on our website. You can plug it right into my calendar, so we'll get you right on the clock.
And you'll get $100 back if you know what is it?
If we bring no
90
results,
days,
90 days. If we're working on your credit,
$100. So challenge him. You might win $100.
You might get $100.
Challenge him.
And thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all being here, and thank y'all, fellas.
Thank you. No, for sure.
Project 33 going next level, baby.
That's it.